Ang Auxiliary Power Unit or APU is a gas turbine engine designed para mo-deliver og electrical power and bleed air sa atong aircraft o sa iyang systems on ground or in the air. Iyang starting envelope is limited lang to 30,000 feet. Auxiliary power unit starting may use either the onboard battery 2 or ang power gikan sa direct current external ground power unit. Ang auxiliary power unit operation kay limited lang to 33,000 feet and alternating current electrical power can be supplied up to this altitude. Auxiliary power unit bleed air is provided for the engine starting system up to 21,000 feet and for air conditioning purposes up to 15,000 feet. Ang auxiliary power unit compartment located ni siya in the aircraft tail cone and accessible ni siya through two removable panels on the bottom side of the tail cone. Ang mesh screen on the air inlet panel is gi-provide para ma-minimize ang ingestion of foreign objects. Take note lang, for APU, certified for extended range twin operations approval or kaning ETOPS operations, kaning operation is limited lang to 37,000 feet. Ang auxiliary power unit operates at a constant speed. Ga-consist siya og single-stage compressor impeller and two-stage axial turbine. Mounted ni siya on a common rotor shaft. Ang gearbox assembly driven by the engine rotor shaft reduces the engine rotor speed sufficiently para ma-drive ang 40 kV amp oil-cooled alternating current generator ug ang oil pump assembly. Ang auxiliary power unit gagamit og full authority digital electronic controller or kaning FADEC para maka-operate sa various nga auxiliary power unit components. Kani pong FADEC also monitors the operation of the auxiliary power unit and provides fault and status information dito sa aircraft central maintenance computer or kaning CMC. Ang APU control panel and switches kay na-locate ni siya dito sa cockpit overhead panel and provide control signals to the APU FADEC. Ang panel contains duha ka switch, mao ni ang master switch ug ang emergency stop switch. Ang master switch is a 3-position switch. The off position indicates normal shutdown of the APU after a 2 minutes cool down period. Ang on position SAD indicates normal auxiliary power unit operation. And ang start position pod is a momentary position that initiates the auxiliary power unit start sequence and keen release the switch moves to the on position. Ang emergency stop switch is guarded switch. Kung imong i-press, mo initiate siya nga mo immediate stop command to shut down the auxiliary power unit. Take note lang, there is no cool down period and a white bar illuminates inside the button kung imong pisliton. In case of APU fire, a red bar will illuminate in the upper half of the button. Note, for airplanes, a serial number covered by the service bulletins 170-49-0003, APU with FADEC 02.00 or an equivalent modification factory incorporated, the cooldown period is 1 minute, followed by spool down period. The ICAS message auxiliary power unit shutting down disappears at the end of the spool down period. Para mag-start sa auxiliary power unit na motuyok, ang auxiliary power unit master switch kay i-on position. Kaning power is the auxiliary power unit FADEC and i-abli ang auxiliary power unit fuel shut-off valve. Kung imong momentarily turn the master switch to the start position, ang FADEC energize the start controller permitting the starter to energize and the auxiliary power unit to run. Kung ang auxiliary power unit speed is approximately 7%, ang FADEC commands the fuel module to open and energize the exciter. At approximately 50% revolution per minute, the ignition exciter and the starter are de-energized and the auxiliary power unit runs on its own. Kung ang speed reaches 95% revolution per minute plus 3 seconds, ang electrical and pneumatic powers become available. Kung ang APU master switch is turned to the off position, ang auxiliary power unit pneumatic source will be immediately removed. Kung ang APU generator is not the only source of alternating current power, then the APU generator will be taken offline as soon as the APU master switch is rotated from on to off. Kung ang APU generator is the only source of alternating current power, then the APU generator will remain online for the entire shutdown process. Ang auxiliary power unit mag-start sa cooldown period. After 2 minutes, the fuel module will close and the auxiliary power unit will turn off. The FADEC power will be removed after 2.5 minutes. Take note, the cooldown period kay dili na siya ma-apply during emergency shutdown. Note, for airplanes a serial number covered by the service bulletins 170-49-0003, APU with FADEC 02.00 or an equivalent modification factory incorporated, the cooldown period is 1 minute, followed by spool down period. The ICAS message auxiliary power unit shutting down disappears at the end of the spool down period. Mauni ang full list sa protective automatic shutdown, especially kung ang aircraft kay on ground or in flight. Note, na ay auxiliary power unit fail message on the ICAS if an automatic shutdown occurs, and an auxiliary power unit fault message if a major fault is active but shutdown is inhibited due to in-flight situation.